Tiffany Darty. I've lived here in Marshall all of my life. I've also been overweight for most of my life. I can remember whenever I was little, breakfast for me would be Oreos and milk. That's what I would eat, and my parents just let me have it. I was their only kid. I never really had healthy eating habits. And then once you get in high school and once you get older, it just kind of snowballs from there, especially once you get your license and you can go and have your own food and you don't have to tell people exactly what you're eating. It's very easy to hide from them what you're eating and how much you're eating. Then I started college. I've always been kind of a stress eater or an emotional eater. So college nursing school where I eventually started, that put a lot of stress in. So that's where I started to gain most of my weight. And my heaviest that I've ever been is 315 pounds. And I cannot believe that I was ever at 315 pounds. Once you kind of get so far into your weight, you think, man, I can't, how can I even turn this around? How can it get better? And I honestly didn't think that it would. I didn't think that I could ever be here. I restricted my food. There was time that I would skip meals and eat as little as possible just to sustain myself from day to day. I was not eating healthy. As a matter of fact, I was eating as little as possible. I tried to cut out some Cokes, but I just replaced those with Diet Cokes, which honestly is not much better. I was sitting on my couch and I had my legs up and I looked down and I saw how far my stomach came out on my thighs and how uncomfortable it was. And I thought, man, Tiffany, how did we get here? How did we let ourselves go so far that you can't even be comfortable sitting down? You can't go outside and play with your kid. You can't do anything. Um, and I was like, I can't be this person anymore. I have to be here for my kid. I have to fix this. So I got a hold of my doctor and she referred me here to call. Honestly, I thought they were going to be very judgmental and be like, man, you should know this, you should know better. And it was going to be cutting out absolutely everything that people enjoy eating. I thought it was going to be rice cakes, water, fruits. That was it. And small, tiny portions. I had planned on being hungry most of the time. I was excited and I really did feel like I could do this. And I thought, hey, you know what? I don't think this is going to be so bad. This seems like something I could actually do. Making a lifestyle change and trying to understand that this was not just a quick diet, that this was something that I needed to do so I could sustain it for the rest of my life, not a quick fix. Um, Learning portion sizes, they're not what you think. Um, it's we're used to grabbing just two handfuls of chips or eating however much we want. So learning the serving sizes was a big one. And just starting to exercise, going from sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing to getting up and moving and walking with the intent of exercising, that was kind of hard for me. My initial goals, they suggested that Paul suggested that I always start out slow. So we just found something I thought that I could do, and it was 3 days a week, 5 minutes each day. And I thought, oh, I can do that. That's pretty easy. I was a big Coke drinker. I mean, I was drinking anywhere from 6 to 8 Cokes daily, and so we started to kind of taper those off. We didn't cut them out cold turkey. We started, I believe, we went down to 2 a day. I was still drinking them every day. And then the next week or whenever I ran out of those, let's go to 1 a day. And then just kind of taper down from there. Whenever I first came in, Paul was talking to me about screen time and how it kind of affected us, and I was like, okay. He said, I want you to put your phone down 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour before bed, and don't touch it again for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour after you get up. And I was like, okay, I don't know how this correlates, but trust the process, give it a try. And it is one of the best things that I've ever done. You are not seeing the negativity immediately. You're not going to bed after you've looked at all the negativity. You don't have that harsh light. You're able to shut your mind down. We also made a goal that I had been eating out at work pretty much every day I was there, 3 to 4 times. That all the money that I would spend on food, we would put in a savings account, or I would put back. And my freezer went out not too long after we had started, and I was able to get a new freezer with the money I had saved from what I would have been eating out. It's just making the conscious decision that you're going to show up for yourself every day, and understanding that this is what has to be done if this is the goal you want to meet. And family plays a big part of it. If you don't have a good support system, it's a harder journey than it already is. My family, my husband is amazing. My kiddo has even been amazing. It's easy to get down on yourself and say, "Oh my gosh, this is hard. Why am I doing this?" And my husband's always there to say, "Look how far you've come. Look what you've done. You can do anything. I'll help you. Tell me what you need. I'll go on a walk with you." I have not experienced a plateau where my weight loss has completely stopped. But the closer I got to my goal weight, it did slow down. So in the beginning, I was losing anywhere from 10, 15, 20 pounds per visit. And then as we kind of went on, it was 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 5 pounds, but that's okay. It was still losing weight. Whenever I was right around 220, it was in that area, I thought, oh, man, it's taking longer. I'm only losing a couple pounds at a time. I don't think it's ever going to happen. Maybe I should just stop and give up. And my husband's like, no, we can't. You can't. That's not you. That's not what we need to do. Keep going, keep pushing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Food was my biggest motivator to do anything in my life. From the time I woke up, it was thinking about food and when I would be able to eat, what I was going to eat. It really wasn't about nutrition for me. That was my very last thought whenever it came to food. It was a very big source, my main source of comfort. It was not healthy food. It's 3 or 4 snack cakes, a whole row of Oreos on top of this, just trying to make myself feel better. So that was where my relationship with food was. Then, whenever I started skipping meals and not eating very much at all, it was kind of like a punishment. I shouldn't eat. This is bad. All food is bad. And this is the only way that I can achieve this goal. Every day I'm learning something new. But right now, I understand that eating well and being healthy doesn't mean that you can't enjoy food. You can still enjoy the things you love while being healthy. It matters what you do most of the time. And then you can have those sometime foods, a brownie, a soda, birthday cake at your kid's party. You don't have to cut out everything you love. Whenever I first started, I have a full-time job. I have a son. I was in the middle of getting my bachelor's degree from University of Arkansas, and we were shorthanded at work. We were working crazy hours. I had no special foods. I was eating the food that we had in my cabinets. I started just by portioning my foods. And then, kind of as I went on, I was like, oh, okay, add more fruits, add more vegetables, eat leaner meats, but while still trying to eat kind of the same thing that my family was eating. I started working out in my backyard. You don't have to have any fancy special equipment. You don't have to buy or subscribe to any fancy food. This is something you can do at home in your living room with a full-time job, being a full-time parent, even going to school full-time. I did this, started out walking around my house in my backyard, laying in my living room floor, doing at-home exercises that I found in magazines or from the library or on the internet. There's all kinds of resources out there. You just have to find the one that works best for you. I added, I think it was 2 minutes every week. The highest point, I was working out 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. And now I'm kind of more in a maintenance. So I'm working out 3 to 5 days a week. I try not to give myself such strict, you have to do it this many. Life happens. So I'm working out 3 to 5 days a week. I am doing it for approximately an hour, and that's more of my cardio, weightlifting here and there, just at home. At home, I have a treadmill now. I go outside and walk. Sometimes my exercise is just going outside, running around the yard with my kid. It's just crazy to think of how far I've come. And so now all that hard work has led me to here where an hour workout for me, I can do an hour workout. That's just crazy to think that I came from breathing hard, being hot, wanting to give up, walking 5 minutes 3 times a week to I could work out 5 days a week now for an hour, and I'm okay, and that's my norm. I did not really go outside and play with him at 3:15, and that's kind of hard to accept that I didn't because I couldn't. It was more of a I'll stand here and watch you run around and play, and you enjoy yourself, but mom can't. Mom can't ride bikes. Mom can't jump on the trampoline. Now, if he comes and asks me, he knows that we're going to go outside. I'm jumping on trampolines with him. He built a dirt slide in our backyard that we slid down. We can run, we race, we ride bikes together. Not well, but we do all kinds of outside stuff together. And we are going to our first amusement park he's never been because now I can fit in the rides to go with him. And I don't even see how I could ever go back because it is a lot of hard work that I've put into this, and I've dedicated a lot of time. And seeing how far I've come and finally hitting that goal weight and hearing that I've lost 158 pounds, that's a great motivator. Being active and being able to enjoy more time with my kid, that's a big motivator. As humans, we enjoy hearing, oh, hey, you've done a good job. And so people just saying, my gosh, the difference I see in you, the way you act, the way you are, the more you can do, that's a great motivator to keep going and feeling better the way I feel now. I had trouble with my knee. I had surgery on it at a younger age, and it bothered me for a little bit, but now that I've lost all this weight, it doesn't really bother me anymore. This whole process, my goals have changed. In the beginning, it was taper off sodas, get up and move, add more fiber, more protein, let's try different foods. Now, my goals have kind of changed to maintain this weight. I want to run a 5K. That is my current goal I'm working towards. So they're always changing. They don't ever stay the same. I would tell myself, you can do it. It's not too late. It's never too late to get up and try and start. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't expect perfection, because I expected it had to be all or nothing, but mainly it would just be, you can do it. Just keep going, show up for yourself, learning to be proud of yourself, because sometimes it feels like we don't want to be proud of ourselves because we feel like we're bragging and other people are going to be like, oh, she thinks she's better than everybody. But it's okay to be proud of yourself. Whenever I kind of hit a new milestone in my weight, so like now that I've hit my goal weight, my my goals will kind of change to the maintenance. Okay, I can focus more on my running. I can change up my exercise. So kind of every time that I came to see Paul, is kind of when my goals would change. I'm excited. It can only get better from here. I've put in all of the work over the past 2 years, and so now I get to kind of still keep it up, but I get to go out and be able to enjoy all the things that I was missing whenever I was 315 pounds. I was looking through pictures. This was just this week that I was looking through pictures of one of my friend's bridal showers. And as I was going through, I was like, oh, who are these people? I was sitting there. Where am I? I did not recognize myself in my own photo. And people, even at work, I'll walk by and they won't speak to me. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And they're like, Tiffany, is that you? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh my gosh, what happened? I didn't even recognize you. And that's a pretty cool feeling when people don't recognize you. Even doctors that I've had, they're like, you're Tiffany, right? Yeah, it's me. Oh my gosh, wow, look at you. It's just crazy, and it feels great. It really is. And that is a motivator. Here currently it's, you're not on a shot, are you? Or what shot are you on? Or did you take some medicine, or did you have the weight loss surgery? No. Well, no, what are you doing? What, you're just eating different. You're just eating different, exercising. Yeah, that's all I'm doing. Whenever I was 315 pounds, it was kind of a mental strain because I didn't want to go out in public. I didn't want to go out to eat because I was so scared that I wouldn't be able to fit in the booth that we were going to be put in, or I would have to walk through chairs of people and people would be like, oh my gosh, so fat. Or people talk. Sometimes people aren't always nice. So I was always wanting to shy away from that. Nobody wants to hear that. And now I don't worry about those things. Weight loss is as much of a mental aspect as a physical aspect, and you just have to decide that I'm doing this and nothing is going to stop me, nothing is going to get in my way. And I know that it's hard, because our mind can really mess with us sometimes, but find a friend, find a doctor, come here, come see Paul, find somebody that you can kind of lean on, and that's going to say, no, I'm not letting you do this. You're not going to give up. Let's push. What do we need to do so you can?